Hello everyone, it is the first weekend in April. I'm Debbie from Australia and so far so good. I'm here today with my March update as promised. As you saw from the first slide, no finishes this month, no new starts either, but compared to February's video, this is all about the stitching. February I did 25,244 stitches on 11 projects. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these have 2 months worth of stitching in the before and afters. As I bring them out, I have put them back in their Q snaps to make it easier for me after the video, but the photos, they're being taken out for the befores and after for most of them. So we're going straight into whips. The first whip, as per usual, supersized stitch in time artwork by Aimee Stewart. This is being done 1/1 on 32 count. There is a larger photo of it. Whoop. Still in a sea of green. I believe the whole shelf is a sea of green. You can see the lady who's having a nice little picnic under the tree. She's got a big red bag against the tree, and I think that's a dog to the side of her. But I'll work on her this month because I have to do 5,000 stitches on this one this month to meet some challenges. So I'm going to work on her to make her more look like a, put a face and that in, so she's more there. But I might even get this month this section, and I'm basically working down this line. Oh, I'm hopeless. I'm hopeless. Still got it wrong looking at it. That's the section I'm basically working on at the moment, sort of straight down that side, and then I'll do the 3 green books, and then I'll go on to the next picture. So we've got before and after, much better than me holding it. So you can see I got a little bit tired of the blue, of the green. So I decided I was going to leave her till last. Couldn't help myself, so I did start on her blue dress and the red bag. And like I said, in front of that red bag against the tree, I'm pretty sure there's a little dog curled up in front of her while she's stitching. I believe she is stitching, but under the tree. And you can see coming up, there's another little Chinese lantern right on the edge of where I'm working. That's to come into play as well, so I am hoping to get that section done if I had my stats up, but I'll show you the end. I'm pretty sure I only got 2,500 maybe. We can look at that at the end anyway. And the picture, so you can see, yes, there he is. There's a little puppy. Again, I'm pointing with the mouse and you can't see it, but you can see the puppy. Ignore the the big H that's there. That's just from the picture because they have heaven and earth across the picture, so you can't sort of say it's your own. So that's the section I'm working on, and I'm hopefully get a lot of that done this month. The next one I have is the Quaker Sampler Flag version 1. This time I really wanted to see how the various stars were going to show up, and they're going to show up quite well. I'm really quite pleased. I had a big unpull section, so I'm just sort of catching up a fair bit. This is being done on 22 count Hardanger. I wouldn't do it on that again, but I haven't got it with me. But the local The local stitching, no, it's a quilting sewing store. The only one we have in town. Closed a couple of weekends ago. So I actually bought material to match this blue. Because this will be a pillow when I'm finished with it. I have got before and after. So I went, you can see I've actually worked down that side, trying to get those stars in just to see what they're going to look like, but they are going to look very well. I was thinking I might have to back stitch them, but I don't think I will at all. And then where I'm up to, I still got a fair bit to do, but I'm trying to get it out and do a few squares every now and then. But now I've got the count right and a right across. I can just follow the diagonals down, so it'll make life a lot easier. I may finish the grid. I'm not sure. I'll see how I feel. The next project I have, there's pushing the wrong button. This is another one that's got 2 months worth of work on it. This is B by artwork by Lorna Lane, charted by Gecko Rouge. My plan is to have this one finished this year. This is being done on 20 count white Aida, and I started it on the 16th of April 2020. And that is the bottom section I'm working on, and it looks, oh wow, nearly finished. No, there's a lot of blanks in there. There is a lot of confetti in there, and I'm just trying to work from, this side, and just work across and try and get them done. The top section, you'll see in the full picture, isn't as full, but it's a lot smaller than that. So once I finish with this bottom section, so you can see I got a fair bit done, but like I said, it is 2 months worth. And in the group I'm in, Down Under Divas, from a Stitch in Time stitching shop down in Tasmania, Hobart, Tasmania, we could set a penalty project. So if you didn't have a project to meet any of your challenges, you could specify one monthly. I believe I've set this one for the first 6 months. I might go month on from then, because I really should have a Stitch in Time, but I really want this one finished. But you can see before and after, it is definitely getting there. And against the finish one, so you can see the top. I think it's a lot more blocky up the top, which will make life a lot easier too. But the B is totally done, so it is only the background. So I'll slowly work on that one. The next project I have, and the shine's gone off this one a little bit, but I will get it done. It is called Cats in the Rain. It's quite a hard picture. I bought the PDF from Madame Chantilly for this one. It's cute as a button. I have graphed the cats to be various cats I know around my friends and family. That is where I'm up to. Dear old Reggie, the little gold fellow, he's going to have a bit of back stitching to give him a little bit of life, because his gold eyes sort of blend in. So we'll do a bit of back stitching on him once all the cats have done. So I've got 3 done. You can see a little one coming up in the pocket, and the one that she's holding over here. This one will be Bug, one of my son's cats, where I've got all the black markings and the rest of it's white. So again, there will be back stitch on that. So I'll be adding a bit more back stitch than I need to. This is being done on 32 count Mist Forest from SewItAll in Australia. Now I believe the fabrics actually come from Fabric Flare in UK. So Mist Forest, it's very pretty, and I thought it looked like a bit of a lightning sky in the rain. Before and after. So I've only got a bit of the yellow one. I think all I did was work on the yellow on the last day of the month after I was working on, I don't know if it was my video or unpacking from the video, so it only really got the one night. And against the full one, so there's really not a lot to go. You've got, oh yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more kitty cats to come in. Little girl who will have red hair, and the umbrella and rain, so it won't take long. I don't think it'll take long. Maybe we'll get it finished this month. Okay. The next one, now I sort of ended up a little bit of having a little tiny bit of Mermaid March. In fact, at the end of March, I've touched every project bar 2, which isn't too bad. So I've been dragging them out. This is Emerald Mermaid from Mirabilia. She's a very pretty one. Now she's going to look like a zombie because I haven't backstitched her face yet. But there she is at the moment. All the 1/1 skin's done. Her hair is done. Really, it's filling the filling in her body, and if I pull this back, I've got the roses underneath her, and a bit more coming out on her tail. So she hasn't got a lot to be done either, except for the beads, of course. A lot of beads. They don't take that long. But she does look like a little bit of a zombie before and after. So basically I got her body done. Finished a bit of her hair. Did a body. I really need to backstitch it. I actually put it on my phone so I can enlarge it to do the backstitching. And against the finished project. So finish filling in her body, the flowers underneath and coming out behind her tail, and basically from then on it's beads. Well, that seems to be working well today. I shouldn't say that. Next one, they've got a fair bit of work, and that is Long Dog Samplers Gone to Pieces. I have changed the colours on this one, but I did a lot of work on this while I was down at on the retreat, down stitching on the border. So as you can see, that's top here, going straight across there. So I've only got to go, oh my good grief, across here and down. So there's not much to go, only that final. Well, that's how wide it is. It's only a narrow one, this one. I do have to colour in these. One of them's grey and one of them's lemon, I think. But I'll do all the black first and get that done. And then I'll just do the fill-in. But it hasn't got a lot to go at all before and after. So it's only that top left corner maybe, and it will be the lemon like the bottom section, and then just I think it's 168 pale grey for the other one. We'll see what that looks like. It may have to have a change. And again, it's the final project, so you can see it's only that final corner. I've only got to, and I think the only reason I didn't go across is it was slightly crooked in the Q snap, so I couldn't do that border right across the top to finish it off, which annoyed me a little bit. But again, I might get to it this month. But with 5,000 stitches on stitch-in time, we'll just have to see. Next project, again, this is a 2 weeks worth, 2 months worth, and that is Little House Needleworks Little Sheep Virtues. So there's 12 little virtues, I'm doing them in my own order. Again, I'm up to the 6-month mark, so this will be a finish this year. So I got Gratitude done, I got Courage done. There'll be another one this month over here. This is being done on 32 count vintage country mocha. I started it in November 23. So it really needs, and some of these have just been sitting there and I've just been trying to touch them all, just trying to get them done. So I can start other things, of course, but I want them done. I want them done before and after. So clearly 2 months worth, and there's only 6 months to go. So what would that be? Excuse me. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So it should be a September finish. Oh, it's too early, too early. Okay. Next one, again, this is 2 months worth. Sunshine Stitches Sal for this year, put a bird on it, by Modern Folk Embroidery. It's a lovely, lovely little pattern. Start a new pile. Mine's a bit leery. I've been working on this motif. It's absolutely huge. I've still got another arm out here and another lot of the central bits and pieces in here as well, but finding something to count off, that was my hardest thing this month. The birds are all blue. The letters are a variegated purpley pink, and that's to pull in the colours of PR186, which is beautiful, and that's a nice example. And yes, I have been trying really hard to have them all the same, starting in the same place. That was why I was a bit annoyed I couldn't finish it in the couple of days sessions, because I've got to keep looking where I actually started to make sure they're all the same. I don't have to do it on all of them, but when it's a big one like that, my brain says yes you do. The whole before and after. That's as high as it going to be. And I'd say maybe very close to halfway. I'm not following the actual bits, the cut up size, and that's only because it went through motifs, and using the variegated, it's just too hard. If I was doing a full colour, a solid colour, it would be different, but not on the variegated and against the full pattern. So you can see that's one massive motif, that one in the middle. So once I get it done, just the two birds just above that, under the, is it a 5 or an S? I think it's a 5. You put your initials in. The problem is my initials are a little bit too long. If I put 3 of them like they have on theirs, like the J, D, G, so I'm only going to put 2 initials in, or else I might just slip another bird in there. I haven't decided yet. That's why I've left it. I was looking at to see if there was a slightly different font, but I think that would interfere with the style of it. So it'll either be one of the birds repeated up there, or I'll just put DW and leave it at that. Okay, next, Raven Sampler. This one's pottering along. I don't know, might be another finish. I might get a fair few finishes. It's just unfortunate none this month. This one I've put back in after taking the photos. But I got the four and a bit boxes done 3 and a bit boxes done. And then it's mainly alphabet and a little bit of a border. So it's coming along nicely. This is being done on 40 count Nevermore from Fancy Fabrics down in Tassie. And I started it in August 24 and just fell in love with it. And I'm waiting on a piece of, I can't think of its name. It's a green one anyway. To do the stag. There's a stag one, a deer one that's similar. And I know it'll look gorgeous on that. So I'm just waiting for that to turn up. Oh well, when I pay for it, of course. I haven't paid for it yet. But when the dyeing period's on. So there's a fair bit done. Let's face it, when you're doing monochrome, it just flies because you don't have to think about colours and swapping or anything. And the only change I did was I decided to have the big black bird in the middle, black. I was going to do all of them, but it was too late. I'd already done a couple, so too late. So only the big one's going to be black. And against the finished project, so I've got an alphabet, which usually goes pretty quick, and the 2 birds in the border, and we'll be done. Of course, there's a lot more stitching than what you think there, but you know, I'll say we'll be done. Now the other mermaid I worked on, because I haven't worked on her for a while, is Red Mermaid from RTO. She is absolutely gorgeous. Emirate stitch. Oh, come on. I had all the names there. Kelly, Animal Instinct. I can't think of a channel name. I'm losing it, I tell you. I'm getting old. Anyway, there's a lot of us. Amanda at Pennington Terrace. I think there's someone called Emily. And Joe from Belushi Stitches. It's the Belushi Stitches. That's the last one I just couldn't get my head around. We're all working on the Red Mermaid. So I'm coming up to her hair. It's absolutely beautiful. When you see the photo, it's just amazing. The colours. See, there's a lot of stitches you can't see on the video, and there's a whole heap over here that you don't see, but when you sort of pull it back, you can actually, it makes you look like a murky sea. They're a bit of buggers on this really dark fabric. This is 36 count Sorcerer, but I think it really works well, and started that in May 23, so she needs to get done. Before and after. So I did a fair bit. She looks a bit pudgy in the smaller one, but I think it's just a bigger photo. But you can sort of see her sitting on a stone and the leg and bits and pieces in the background. It's very cleverly charted. So I've really just got to finish all that hair and that beautiful face. And she's another one that maybe early next year she'll get finished. And against the finished project, so there she is in all her glory. There's a lot of back stitch I have not done as yet, because there are many different colours and 1 strand and 2 strand. I did start doing it down in her bottom fin, but I decided to wait and do it all later on because it's got to go up the arms, but so far even without it's looking quite well. I think I might have done, let me have a look. Oh no, I thought yes I have done her fingers, the back stitch in her fingers. So she's a beauty with all that red hair, but there's still quite a lot to go. And it's a little bit of this colour, a little bit of that colour. It's, yeah, bit intense. The last project I have to show you is the dwarven axe. I am going to redo the top. I'm leaving the verse. The verse is lovely. I am redoing that top word, and I'm going to use family, but it will be in the runes. But it's lovely, and I'm using that gorgeous PR181 from Silks for You. Oh, and it's upside down. Let's get ready for the photo. There we go. Beautiful thread. It is gorgeous thread. Gold, silver, bronze. It's just beautiful. I can't wait to do the letters. I really think it's going to shine. And I left the axe. I haven't sort of worked out, because as you can see, I'm trying to follow the same pattern, and on the sides here I'm using the same thread each time to try and keep it similar. But I think I'll just have to see how it goes on the axe. But it's just lovely. I really, really love the thread. I did show that to Joe's daughter. Again, name's gone. Terribly sorry. I'm sure she doesn't watch my videos anyway. Saying how beautifully it stitches up. It's just lovely. I love it. So before and after. So I've got the axe section marked out and started. I'd say it's about halfway down the page. So it's another one to get along shortly with, and against the final project. So I've got words and then just merrily go along, and once you sort of get going, I think I'll go and finish the border first, because I'm trying to remember the order I do it, so I get a consistency of the even colours around the side, and then come back and put the spool. Well, I take them as, they're not spools, but they look like a bit spoolish down the bottom, and do the words, and we should be raging. Okay, I'll swap this over, because I think the next, yes they are, the next are the stats from this. Oh, I just love this software. It's an Excel spreadsheet. The details are below, where I got it from on Etsy. I just love it because it saves into Google Sheets, so I can iPad, tablet, computer or phone, I can update as I go along on any of them. So it told me I've started 3 projects this year. I have finished 2. It gives you the daily stitching down the bottom, and it's sort of colour coded. I think it goes greener the higher number that you stitch. So far my high stitching day was February 15th. February was my highest stitching month. I've worked on 21 projects this year, and I've stitched 83 days. For a total so far this year of 76,366 stitches, and it's a pity I don't get them all on a stitch in time. That's weekly stitching, so it's sort of, so far it's a bit around ballpark, around the 23 to 25 a month. That's the stitches per projects. So there's only, I have to say April, because I have stitched on at the Met so far in April, because it was only one that I pretty much didn't have to show in the video. I've got 25 projects. I've finished 2 so far this year, so there's 21 to work on. I did today start the Extraordinary Bird sale, so that will go on for next year. Sorry, next month. I started it on one fabric, and And I came home. I was in Canberra stitching with the Canberra Stitching ladies at the Hellenic Club at Woden. 10 till 12. I stayed a bit longer because I'm driving from an hour and a bit away, so I figure I'll just stay and stitch a little bit longer to make it worthwhile for coming. And then when I leave there, I go and visit the grandkids and my son and daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws. So it makes for a good day. But when I got home, I started on another piece of fabric. Only lost about 300 stitches, but such is life. That will go to my son and daughter-in-law. They've got the other two and they like it. So this one's in a portrait style, which will be interesting. But it should hang really nice, the three of them together being the greenhouse, the aquarium, and now the aviary. And the frame just looks beautiful, but that's for next month. I haven't got to the messages from last video simply because I think it's less than a week since I've done this one. I'm trying to first week of the next month to do the last one so I don't get caught out on a stitch in time. I really need time to get in that. And I think I kept saying I was going to finish the shelf in a year. I'm trying to finish half the shelf in a year, not the whole shelf. That's impossible. But by leaving the videos too long, it doesn't leave me enough days in the month to actually sit there and stitch on it. So far so good. I've managed to do it for March, so he's hoping I can keep doing it. I wish you all well. I wish you happy stitches, and I'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.